So today, hello, we're going to talk about what yoga pose or exercise helps you overcome anxiety, depression, and financial struggle. I know it's kind of a big promise, um, but it really does. And not only does it help you overcome it, but it helps you sort of diagnose it. This is if you are working with someone else. So just to kind of let you know how I discovered this, I was a yoga instructor, right? I'm a Pilates certified Pilates and yoga instructor, and I used to go to people's homes where they had a yoga room, and I would work with them privately. So there was one of my clients. There was a lady. She was super sweet, super wealthy, but struggled with anxiety, all sorts of disorders. Like I think she was on Klonopin and several other meds. She struggled with bipolar, symptoms. It was a lot of stuff. And one of the things that I discovered, one of the things that she could not do in class, in any session, was balance, right? Anytime I'd ask her to lift one foot off the floor to, kind of activate those stabilizers. Because if you're an instructor, right, if you work with fitness, you know that those are very important for strengthening the abs, right? Those core exercises. But she couldn't do it. Couldn't do it to save her life. Even an inch, even like lifting one foot, like an inch off the floor. It was very, very difficult for her. She'd like quickly lose her balance. So what does this mean? What does this tell me? This tells me that her root chakra, right, is very weak. So if you work with chakras or work with energy healing, you know that when someone's root chakra, right, their basic shrinks, becomes very, very small, this means that they are either ready to leave the planet, right? They're ready to transcend, to pass, or they're suffering with such deep depression that they wish to leave the planet, that they're no longer attached to the earth in some level, right? And this kind of is a warning signal. This is not a good thing. And this is definitely something that she was struggling with. So what did I do, right? Because she was not open to any kind of conversation, any kind of, push towards therapy or opening up about this. So I had to work discreetly with this situation. So I would challenge her in almost every session to try balancing. This became one of our, like, a major part of our daily sequence, what we did daily. So we started with, and this is something she didn't like doing, but we try to make it fun. So I'd kind of position her against near a wall so she'd feel safe, right? So she wasn't just sort of in the middle of the room flailing or risking falling, right? She was kind of like, she could put one hand against the wall or hold onto something. And so she would lift one toe off the floor and put it down. And then she would lift the other foot just slightly, maybe an inch off the floor, and put it down. And then we try again a few times, right? And then we had some good days, and we had some not so good days, but we'd bring it back every session. Every time I come over, I'd say, okay, let's do our balancing exercise again, right? And she got used to it. Eventually, and this took a month or two, she was getting more and more successful, right? And again, I never brought up, oh, we're doing this for your mental health. Never, never, never. But I did hold the vision in my mind, right? My intention was very clear for her. I held the vision in my mind of her being healed, well, happy, getting off of meds, all that stuff, as I was instructing her to work through these balance poses. A month or two later, actually it was more like 2, 3 months later. It's not a quick, it's not a quick fix, especially because the place that she was coming from, she was deep into depression. Suddenly, she was doing better. She was expressing to me independently, just kind of in conversation, like, oh, I'm feeling so much better. I think I'm going to ask my doctor to reduce my prescriptions. I don't think I want to be on Klonopin or Prozac anymore, or other things that she was taking to counter the anxiety and the mental struggles she was experiencing. And she did. She actually went to the doctor. She wasn't a fan of talking therapy, but she did like her meds. But she went to the doctor and she asked for a reduction, in a healthy way. Again, if you're taking some of those meds and that's been your, somebody's prescribed that to you, I don't recommend that you immediately just go cold turkey and start balancing. Go to the doctor and ask for them to decrease it in a healthy way that's not going to affect you negatively. But that was the result, somehow miraculously that we achieved with her. So what could you do, right? Um, this was a success story, and I think this could be your success story. So what could you do? So if you are struggling with those issues, right? If you're struggling with depression, or if you're having thoughts that you kind of don't want to be here anymore, this planet, this world, this reality has gotten too hard, too restrictive, too depressing, try balancing. Right? Don't go in the middle of the room, right? Especially if you know that you have trouble balancing. Go somewhere where you have a wall nearby and you can kind of catch yourself. And lift one toe off the floor, lift the next toe off the floor. See how you do, right? Do it again. Do it like try to do this daily for 10 minutes or something like that. If you are into yoga, if you like yoga, then try doing something like Vrikshasana, the tree pose, or any kind of poses that you are challenged to stand on one leg or that will challenge your balance. This is super good for you. Repeatedly do those poses, repeatedly. Again, you will find that your physicality will start to change and your mental health will start to improve. Your root chakra will start to strengthen, right? Even if someone who knows about energy is able to measure the size of your root chakra, your connection, your desire to stay on the planet, this will strengthen. It will get bigger and bigger. And one of the other things that will happen, perhaps unintentionally, but this is a bonus, you will start to make more money because that's another function of the root chakra, right? This is your connection to the earth, right? This is your ability to manifest. This is your ability to materialize things on an earth plane. So as your root chakra expands, you will attract more money. You will be far more productive. You'll find yourself procrastinating less. You'll have more impact, right? On the planet. Like everything good will happen. Just don't get too materialistic. That is like the downside because every chakra has its like pros and cons. All right. So that is all I've got today. And I will see you tomorrow.